I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
It's the first time in my life I was in a zone. And I got on top of that railing and I believed I can fly. Because I knew I could fly at that point of time. And I would have been the first human being who's not in the serial heroes who could fly. They didn't allow me to fly, so I'll never find out. The match finished. I hugged everyone. I loved everyone. I think my only place is to the top, so I'll remain there. Whatever there is at the top, the asylum or the jail, I'll go there.
Shah Rukh, perhaps the one cliche, as it were, that could describe this moment is all's well that ends well. But before we get to the happy part, there's got to be many moments along this rather bumpy ride that you probably felt it wasn't going to end too well.
No, this is a joke. You use the wrong lyrics of a song. As a joke, I'm saying. All's well that ends well. But I just want to, I've never felt things will go wrong. I think that is, yeah. I mean, I do what I feel like. I behave like I feel like. I say what I feel like. And
get into a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble. I've told you last time also. I'm a nuisance. I'm a trouble child.
To whom?
And,
nuisance
to everyone.
to yourself? To your family? To your friends? To people?
I'm a nuisance child to my children. You know, honestly, I tell you, the other night, in one of the fights that I got into, which I don't remember which one now. I've done so many this year. But
you're joking, right?
You know,
how many can you count?
You know, now I've decided, I've promised
There's
MCA,
myself.
And then
there's Shirish Kundar.
Yeah, but I decided.
Are there more?
No, one a year now I've decided.
1 year, okay.
I've fixed my quota now.
That's controllable.
Just controllable, yeah. So the second fight I got into, and I came home and I apologized to my children.
This is the MCA incident?
This is the MCA incident.
Okay.
So I said sorry to my son and my daughter, and I explained to them what was verbally said to me, though I didn't want to talk about the unsecular part of it, because I never discussed that with my kids about religion, X, Y, Z. I just let them be.
Can I hold you right there? Because you're saying you didn't want to discuss the unsecular part of it. So you're actually saying that what was said to you was a communal statement.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. And I stated right in the beginning that I wouldn't like to repeat it, because then again it becomes an issue and I don't want it ever to be. And again, I'd like to say it wasn't an association that I was fighting with. It was an individual who should not speak like this. And if the association does take a call, it's their rules and I will respect it.
Can I ask you something, that given the amount of criticism that you got from so many quarters for how you behaved on the MCA grounds, and you're now saying, I think for the first time, because at your press conference you only said that they were very abusive, they behaved very badly, they tried to manhandle the children, including your daughter. But you haven't actually come out on record and said that what was said to you was a communal thing.
No, I said unsecular in the press conference.
So why are you not telling us what this was?
You know why? Because it just makes it even more pertinent that we have issues in our country which are communal. I don't like it. I get
questioning your patriotism, questioning your...
No. Yeah. Just a word which I misread because I'm from Delhi. I thought it meant something else, but it meant something else. And then somebody told me, and I got really angry at that. And of course, the kids were pushed or whatever. But I mean, all that aside, I just felt pathetic and really bad that my kids had to see me like this. They never seen me like this. My son only had one thing to say after I gave a long explanation for my behavior. He said, you know, Papa, I'm glad you didn't hit anyone, because if you ever try to in public, I'd bring you down.
He said that, your son?
Yeah, I'm tough enough, which he's not. Okay, I won't say that, but he's a tough guy. And he said, you know, I would have pushed you down and not let you hit anyone. So I said, yeah, you should. And I'm sorry I did that. And after explaining long, I asked him, is it okay? He said, I have just one thing to ask. I said, what? Why? So I found that very...
Why what? Why did you react the way you did? Why did they say what they said to you?
No, why did you do all this? So I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. And my daughter was Deepa. as girls normally are. And she said, you know what, you don't have to say sorry to us, you don't have sorry to anyone. It's just that because of what you do, later on you go very deep in depression. And I don't like it when you're so deeply depressed. So for yourself, behave well. And so I think like I said, I'm a nuisance child to my children. And I realized that night. And I promised them I will behave better. No, I feel very ashamed when my children have to teach me how to behave, because I think it's their age that they should be taught by me how to behave. So
you're saying that you were provoked in quite a serious way with an unsecular comment, but you still shouldn't have behaved the way you did.
Yeah, because I'm to behave well in interviews. I'll say that.
In this interview you don't have to behave well. You can be who you are.
Can I do one thing? I would like to answer some of the questions as what is the right way to answer it and what is my way to answer it.
I just want the truth as it's seen by you.
Can I do both, please?
Okay, you can do both.
So the right one. Yes, I have reached a stage and age in my life and career where people do look up to me as a role model. And
you can't even keep a straight face doing this politically correct cards.
I'm just joyful. And because I'm a role model, I should not give the wrong signals to people. So if people try to provocate me or say anything which is wrong, the bigness and largest of heart would be, and the right thing to do would be that yes, I should not retaliate to anyone. In actuality, if somebody again did this to me, yeah, I'd bury them. I should not be saying this. I just want everyone to know very clearly that I'm not a role model. I'm not a role model. I've never chose to be. I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to act. I want to give acting and make you smile. I did not set out to be a role model, because role models are people who play a role according to the perception that people think of them. I'm not that. I really want to tell people that I'm a commoner. Yeah, I've got a big house and I'm very rich, and I can make a mistake. And I can be wrong. And it's all right to be happy or wrong or right.
You're just being human.
You can be, and it's all right. But yeah, I mean, when my kids
But then you
sit
still
down,
have to come back and answer your kids.
Yeah, now I realize if I have to answer my kids, it's a little embarrassing. And I mean, they've never told me I'm a role model. I'll tell you a strange thing. I've never told my kids. I don't know if it happens in houses. I know of some people, but in my house, we have never talked to our children, "Bade ho ke tum papa ki tarah banoge." And if I'm expected to be a role model, then you have to accept me that, yeah, work-wise I might be a role model. But personally, I'm very different. It's like, I'll give you an example. I have never ever spoken after the first time about the fact that I get caught at an immigration in America. I choose to go there. If I choose to go there, I will follow the rule. Why, when I came back, I did not even mention it to one person.
Even at that time, there was criticism that too much was being made of the fact that you were questioned for 2 hours.
I did not say a word to anyone.
Would you have preferred? Would you have preferred if it was low-key and treated more routinely?
No, I would prefer that, can somebody realize it is my choice to go to America in spite of this, and I did, and I know fully well this is going to happen, and I still choose to go. And that's it. It's as simple as that. It's a rule, like, you go into a holy place, you take the shoes off. It's as simple as that. I should not go to a place if I have an issue taking my shoes off.
So you're not offended when you're stopped? Not more than once now it's happened to you in America for questioning, because obviously your name matches some list that they have.
Yeah, so either I change my name or, lose my fame so people don't copy my name. But to be really honest, I'm not offended. I'm not offended to the extent that I don't go to some place. But like, if I come to your house once and you offend me, or I feel offended, it might be the regular rule in your house, but I feel offended, I won't go there. The fact that I choose to go there for work or for whatever reason means that I'm not offended enough.
So is the fuss created over it disproportionate, you think? Omar Abdullah, for example, had said on Twitter when you were detained the last time.
Do you have dark glasses?
Sorry?
Do you have dark glasses?
Do I have dark glasses? Why, you're tired of the public light shining on you?
No. I read his Twitter where he says, why do I wear dark glasses at night? So
I missed that one.
I'd like to wear dark glasses and answer this question.
Okay, I missed that tweet of his. But I was talking about the tweet where he actually said, when you were detained, that what's all the fuss? Everybody, or many people get detained at American airports. Why is there such a fuss every time?
Yeah, and he's
he
right in
right?
saying that. I think he's right in saying that. I think he's all right if he feels. See, everybody's got an opinion, and
What's
he
yours?
feels,
When you get stopped, it must
See,
be very irritating.
I have a system problem. I have a system problem. That here is a system, a place, a country, or an organization, which we actually try to, emulate in terms of organization and systems and processes. Once a thing happened, the American consulate very generously came. They apologized, they were very kind, and they said, next time it won't happen, and now your name has been given, and the I thing has been taken, and whatever. I go the second time it happens, when I went for Ravana at Toronto. The immigration in America is done in Toronto somehow. My bags were open, and everyone recognizes, and they're very kind to me. But it is 2.5 hours of just standing there with your bags, and I had to repack them, which was even worse. And I had to repack them really badly and broke a few things. And then, third time again it happened. But my only humble request is that if some thing has happened, not only for me, it could be happening to other people also, and it's obviously a system and a process error, it can be rectified, and it would actually augur better for the security of every place if all the names, if there is a wrong name, there could be a right name which is not being picked on also.
But I read in the papers that Henry Kissinger, who was Secretary of State in America, was also stopped and questioned. So, unlike in India, where a lot of important people don't get stopped,
no, that's
perhaps
not true.
In America they're a little less discriminating.
I've never ever taken this, and I read some comments. I have never ever, in India when I go, I have never broken a line. As a matter of fact, if you go and ask the Mumbai Customs, the gentleman whose name is incidentally Mr. Wankhede, he will say that, whenever he comes, he's one of the few people who will sit there, wait, yes, I do request him, can my children go if they're with me? And I sit there, I open bags, I tell them what I have. I have that kind of reputation in any official department. I've never walked in thinking I'm Shah Rukh Khan.
One of the things that was said when the MCA incident happened was, this is the same Shah Rukh Khan who can't fight with American immigration officials, but was flexing his muscle with MCA officials. Basically to say, ghar mein raja banta hai.
Yeah, well, they should try and touch my kids in America. I'll show them. You try and say that to me in America, which I think incidentally is said. To be really honest, without saying it, they say it, that, your name is whatever, and, it kind of tallies with somebody else's name or with the religion that we look at more, under...
But you don't see that as communal, even though it is a sort of racial profiling. Do you see that as important? Are you able to make that distinction?
To be really honest, I don't give a damn about any other country. I do give a damn about my own country. And to be really honest, I have been brought up and I'm a little educated and I know how the world is, and lately it changed where a lot of the world countries are also communal. But I think in my country, in my capacity as a person, if there is something communal, I think I should say it a little more, flexing my muscles than anywhere else. But I'd still say it. I mean, the authority is there and I completely abide by the rules and it's all right. I wasn't going anti an association. I was going anti a person who happens to be in that association. And if this is a rule, I'll follow it. But I think they should have a talk with that gentleman also. I don't know what he looks like and I won't be bothered, or I won't recognize him again. But it's not fair, to talk like this. And if you talk like this, say it to my face. Talk to me. And I'm not being a gunda.
But was that the tipping point of the fight?
No, I actually came down because somebody, and they told me later, somebody told me that, the couple of matches before, some people from the audience had walked onto the field and the security guy was, reprimanded for that. I think he assumed the children who were watching the match, and they had walked on from the field, but they'd walked onto the field so I could take them out in the bus which was parked. I came to pick them up. And so I think it was the same kind of a feeling for him, and he was being a little more, strict than he would have been the day before. So he was pulling them out, and I didn't like that. And I just told him, please don't touch them. And he still pulled another kid, and I said, don't touch them. And that time the gentleman came from behind and said something, and I just turned around and said, what are you saying? I didn't even understand at first. I misread the word for something else. So I just turned around and said something to him again, and then somebody explained to me saying this. So I went to him. By then 4 or 5 people came to protect him, and they arrest him and stuff like that, which, if you wanted
in not going public with what they said to you, aren't you allowing the narrative to, in a sense, or the dominant narrative to be, here's this spoilt brat superstar, used to having his way, flouting rules, comes with his children, breaks those rules, wants VIP treatment. When he doesn't get VIP treatment, shouts at the police officers. Because you haven't
But only in
actually...
India, not in America.
Only in India, not in America. That too has been said. Now, by not actually elaborating on what was said to you, that was communal, you've made it clear it was one word, it was communal, deeply communal, not secular. But by not elaborating on it, by not actually letting people know how abusive it was, aren't you allowing the other narrative to define the incident?
I think it's enough for me to say that, yeah, it wasn't something that I think is to be said. You know, you can say a few words which are gali-like.
Which you did.
Which I did, yeah. I did. I abused, yeah. But I know, and I think a lot of people can be very disturbed with that too. You know, that, you know, you should not have said it. I was disturbed with that. And, you know, I don't want to elaborate because I just want it to end. Because it's just extremely embarrassing for my children to keep seeing this on television and reading about it in the papers. My daughter was not feeling good about this whole thing. So I'm like, okay, now just let it end. And next time, if somebody says this to me, I guess I'll just move away.
Now, in your home, you have always said that religion has been a non-issue. Did your kids understand that something like this was said to you? Did they want to know what it meant?
You know, because it has been such a non-issue. As a matter of fact, like I said, my daughter finally turned around and said, why are you making an issue of it then, if it's a non-issue? And that struck a chord. Yeah, if it's a non-issue, then it's a non-issue. Let people say what they say. And what they want to, just keep quiet. Don't overreact to it. What are you protecting, you know, the fact that somebody else has difference of opinion about religions, and you're someone who doesn't have, then why are you behaving like this? You don't need to teach them in this manner, because then you're succumbing exactly you know, the writing ways that occur when people talk about it.
There's one part of you that I'm hearing saying, when I had to come home and explain this to my daughter and son, it was really awful. And the other part is still saying, hang on, if I have to give you the truthful, politically not correct answer, if this happened again, I'd do the same thing all over again, right?
No, now I'll tell you what I'll do.
No, now you have to give me the real answer and not the politically correct one.
What I'll do differently, if I get really, really angry at something, being a public figure, I'll take that gentleman into a public toilet, close the door so nobody sees it, and then do what I wish to do with it, so that nobody can take a picture with me like this. And
there are people who are going to listen to this interview as they have listened to previous interviews and write, as they have written before, that Shah Rukh Khan is going through some sort of midlife crisis when he behaves like this and talks like this.
Yeah. I keep hearing. Like
you heard a lot of that when this incident happened, right?
Yeah. What are they called? Pop psychologists. Yeah, I heard lots of them. Yeah.
And what did you feel? Did you feel amused, hurt, angry when you heard this?
I'll tell you what I felt. I actually wrote it down. What I felt that day.
As part of your book that you're writing?
I just wrote it. I wrote it on my phone memo, and I kept it because it kind of hurt me. You know, I look at this and I say, okay, here are these people living in small boxes of judgment and righteousness, and I noticed that box is even smaller than the 42-inch plasma television that I'm watching them on. It's so small. It's really small, and they symbolize my hurt, and I was very disturbed, and the hurt and angst becomes anger, which is the second part. But I'm looking at them and I start analyzing, why am I getting angry and hurt with them? And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a movie star. All my life, all I wanted in midlife, and before midlife, from childhood, when I started acting in theater, all I wanted to do, and all I want to do, is to be accepted, love and give in whatever form. And I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that I get chances to share happiness with people. By doing a cartwheel, so be it, letting my underwear show. By being maybe incorrect in the eyes of the politically correct, I can do all that. I just want to give as an entitlement. I want to give it. If you ask me today, Shah Rukh, you know this show is getting too serious, can you do something? I do Chamak Chalo for you. I'm not going to sit down and say, oh, no, you're not going to take myself more seriously. This is going to be the possession of the people. When Shah Rukh Khan talks, he should talk intelligently. I can get an intelligent look in my face. I can.
What's your intelligent look? Can you show it to us?
Not yet.
That serious intelligent look. Otherwise, you're very intelligent, but it mostly comes out in the form of self-deprecating humor.
I can think before I answer, take a little longer, and use bigger words which nobody understands. But I started feeling that I'm ready to give. You ask, I'll give. Without asking, I'll give. I'll do it. I'll do anything that you want me to do because I want to be liked. I want to be loved. That's the first rule of wanting to be an actor. And this is what I'm going to teach my children too, or any young actor or actress who meets me. First rule.
But where does the wanting to be liked and loved reconcile with the kind of bitchiness, scrutiny, criticism that you hear about yourself all the time?
I'll tell you. So I want to give, and I'm giving, and I'm saying, please take this. And suddenly, I'm noticing that after giving so much also, there are people who question that giving with different titles to it, that midlife crisis, arrogant, or big star, what does he think, where does he think he comes from, blah, 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 blah. And while I was watching all of them, I was watching lots of them on television, because I did.
You couldn't resist that? You didn't want to just say, I'm not going to listen to what they're saying about me?
No.
You can't do that.
Watch it. I want to watch it, yeah. I want to watch it because it was being said in a different tone than it happened in. So I was watching it, and all these, like I say, pop psychologists, socialite, in their designer saris with more, wearing more makeup than the attitude I wear. And, I love this, so I'll repeat it again. Anchors who look like overgrown schoolboys think that they're cowboys. And, their brittle self-importance held together by their outdated ties, and calling me a brat, and saying X and saying Y. And I kept looking at them and I realized, you know what? I symbolize their hurt too. They're not the only ones who symbolize my hurt, that they're not loving me enough. I symbolize their hurt that, hey, I can't do a cartwheel. And not because I can't do it physically, because I don't have that many occasions to express my happiness, and not only express it, share it with so many. Because I like people, and I do a cartwheel, and they like people say, yay, good fun, we had a good night. Can I say one thing? It's okay to be happy and share it. You don't have to give it names of midlife crisis. So if I was 27...
No, they didn't say it then. They said it when you had the fight at the MCA. That he's going through an unhinged sort of moment,
I'm analyzed every moment and every time for whatever actions I do. Like I said, I can't wear dark glasses at night, but so many other people do. It's okay. Now I said something which Jack Nicholson had said, that the sun doesn't stop shining on me. That's why I wear dark glasses at night. I said this in my interview also, and a long time back, many years ago, they make a thing out of that also. And it's all right. I guess now I have to get used to. Like I told you last time, Barkha, I'm getting more and more reclusive now. There was a time when I was telling all the young boys and girls who had come to do this interview with me, and I told them, there was a time when if I was driving in a car and I saw all of them pounding on the glass, I would stop my car, get off, and chat with them. Not because I wanted to get that extra mileage on press, but because I see they're doing a job. And would it be nice for them when a young kid came to me and said, Barkha, we got Shah Rukh's interview. So it would be nice, because I was treated like this when I was young in the film industry, that somebody did stop the car and say, hey, you're a good actor, come on in, I'll give you a role. So I do all that, and now I stopped doing it. They asked me in Kolkata, they asked me here in Mumbai, Shah Rukh bhai, you don't stop and pose for us anymore at a party. You look disturbed. I said, yeah, you broke my heart. And is it okay to be a celebrity and have your heart broken?
But you know that there are those who say that it comes with the turf of being in the public eye. People love you sometimes for completely artificial reasons. Even the praise and even the adulation can sometimes be very far from...
Oh, it is.
How people imagine you is not who you are.
And all the praise I get and all the criticism I get, the truth is somewhere in the middle. I've always maintained this. I'm neither King Khan and neither am I an arrogant brat. But but there must be qualities of both in me. But somewhere in the middle, not to those extremes. And but I got saddened because my own colleagues, you're my colleague, we're in the media, I'd like to say, because you do the news, whatever stardom you get, being a news person, you can't take it seriously.
Of course you can't.
You still have to do the news. So whatever stardom I get as an actor can't be taken seriously. I still have to just act. That is the basic thing.
What you're saying, you want the space to lose your temper sometimes, to have a bad mood, to have a bad day, to not talk to people if you don't want to. You don't want to play the persona of the film star.
I can't do it outside, like you said, because I'm a public figure. So I'll do it inside. So I find myself getting, like I said, not wanting to go to a lot of places. And yeah, I'll be very honest. Is it wrong, like I asked you before? And you answer that because you're a celebrity. How much of a thick skin do you have? how much of is it all right? Like if you were to be sad, do I not have the right to be heartbroken at your behavior? Or even that is not love. Or, like my friends tell me, most of the actresses I work with, very gently and kindly they tell me, say, even if you're saddened, don't show it. Because you should just be smiling. And I said, no, I don't want to smile when I don't want to smile. Yeah, in the movie you asked me, I'll smile 43 takes. And I just felt, you know, when people are saying this and I was, you know, there was a little kid wearing torn jeans in one of the matches and a white t-shirt like me. And I was walking, and a lot of kids dress up like me in the stadium. And he was waving to me and saying, Shahrukh bhaiya, little kid, Shahrukh bhaiya, aapne aaj phati jean nahi pehni hai. And phati jean pehnoge to jeet jaoge. So I answer back. So my jeans were, I wasn't wearing these ones. So I said, yahan se phati hui hai, niche se. And tu aake baki phar de. You know, you come and tear it. And the kid must be so happy. And somebody said, I'm showing my shoe to the people. I'm showing the shoe to the organizers. And I'm like, that is a wrong interpretation. And these people who were talking, they also take that picture and say the same thing.
You're not at all more used to it than you were.
I always tell people that if I lead my life 51% good and 49% bad, it's a victorious, glorious life, you know. But suddenly, I just started feeling somewhere, and I told all the kids, I gave them sweets yesterday. I have a new rule, which I started, that if you ask me a good question, I'll give you a good sweet. If you ask me a bad question, no answer, just a bad sweet. I wanted
What's
them
a
to
bad
know.
sweet?
Bad sweet is it's very pungent. I don't like it. I gave it to one kid and he said, "It's bahut acha hai," also different strokes for different folks.
So what's a bad question? I don't want a sweet. What's a bad question?
I can do it with you, but if you ask me something with the notion to make it just a scandalous or a headline, I don't think I need to do that. Like, you know, some तो आपने जूता क्यों दिखाया? नहीं दिखाया, बोल दिया मैंने अभी, फिर से मत पूछो मुझसे. तो आप क्या उसको अभी माफी मांगेंगे? अरे यार, you've read what I've said. Don't go there so that if I say no, तो शाहरुख खान ने मना कर दिया. I even joke. I said, मैं ना यार इतना परेशान हूँ, मैं 3 दिन से ठीक था, नहाया भी नहीं, तो आज नहाया मैं. Somebody said, you're looking very fresh. So I said, मैं नहाया. And then I said, oh my God, please, one of you guys don't start writing Shahrukh Khan 3 din nahaye nahi. You know, I don't make it like this. And I understand it's a job. I understand maybe it should be taken with a pinch of salt. Maybe it should be taken in a joke. But then when the joke comes to my house, I'm finding the shadow of my actions, good and bad, becoming too dark on my family. And that disturbs me. That disturbs me a lot. So I'm like, maybe I should send them somewhere else to study and just keep them away.
Is it that serious? Have you actually considered that?
You know, I just start feeling that, you know, as is, I'm very grateful for being who I've become professionally. Very, very grateful. I don't think there's anybody in this world who'd be as lucky as I am. For the amount of talent and the way I am, I just got so much more. The only fear I always had is that my children should be able to go beyond the shadow of their father's name if that name remains there years from now when they have grown up. You know, I don't like it when somebody turns around and looks at me and says, "Tum bhi daddy ki tarah hero banoge." Nahi banega. It's okay. Nahi banega.
What explains the change, though, in the sense that you said that you're less able to take the judgments or the narratives that people create about you? Do you think
when you have a relationship with someone,
yeah.
Suppose you and I know each other for 10 years, and we're sitting and having food, and you turn around and say something to me, because we have a relationship for some years, you assume that the way I said it, Shahrukh will know, because we have a relationship, right? But if Shahrukh only turns around and goes to somebody else and says, you know what Barkha said? Barkha said this. You say, but Shahrukh, you know, I always joke like this. It wasn't meant to be. You assume when you have a relationship of 20 years, 21 years, that listen guys, you know, I can joke like this. You know, I always joke like this. I've always had this sense of humor. But why is that sense of humor?
People don't get your sense of humor quite often, right?
Why is it suddenly, oh, he's arrogant? Like if somebody says anything, like you said that, you know, if you ask me a question, I can answer it with a joke. But it's a joke. Now don't make it out to be something that is arrogant or it's narcissistic and bratty or stupid. No, I'm genuinely, and I'm not trying to clarify my position, but I'm a very humble person. Whoever has worked with me, they will tell you this. That I'm a very humble person, but I speak my mind and have a lot of fun and I joke about things. But if you take all my jokes and put them in one column and say, read them, he's so arrogant. Yeah, they can read like that.